many times have we seen Daffy being thrown off the Warner Brothers lot for doing something stupid, and it just kind of feels in theme with the whole movie itself, and like you said, life imitating art, and it's just it's got its own built-in marketing.
Dave, let me start with you.
Yeah.
This has to have been the most insane last few years or whatever this time period has been, because it was coming out, then Warner Brothers, and I know you've talked about it, but then Warner Brothers, dumps it, and then it's for sale, but now it's not for sale, and then it's for sale again. Wait, Ketchup? Wait, what? And now it's coming out. Like, what has this been like for you?
It has been a wild journey, I gotta say, but look, I'm thrilled that we get to talk today. Like, the fact that we get to talk today is a miracle, and I still don't believe it, and it's happening right now, and I still don't believe it. It's incredible. It's it honestly just speaks to the resilience and the passion of the fan base, and the fact that people really spoke out on our behalf and stood up for the movie and stood up for these legacy characters that have existed for 80 years. It is incredibly moving on a personal level, and it overwhelms me, it blows me away.
So I definitely have to ask, what was it like when Ketchup Entertainment, you get the call that they're going to pick it up and distribute it? What were those text messages like, and like the voicemails, and like what was that initial few hours?
Oh boy,
he knows more about that than I. I usually just rely on what the press puts out there, and I just follow orders as a performer in the film would. You kind of just are at the beck and call and like waiting to hear what the next news is or what the next steps are. And again, to be able to sit with you here among your colleagues and see the other performers here today is something else.
it was crazy. I mean, I think there was a lot of disbelief at first. Like, I think I got a phone call 24 hours before you read about it in the press, basically. And I spent that day not believing, and I think I spent the next 3 months not believing, but it's really happening, and it feels real right now.
I had an experience with Ketchup Entertainment with the day the Earth blew up. It was done on a much smaller scale budget, as it were, made for Warner Brothers televised animation. But they came out of the woodwork to make sure it was distributed in a very limited run in the animation festival circuit, as well as video on demand and streaming. But I remember being at the WGA's presenting, and I made a joke. I was like, "Hey, if you watch this movie, who knows? Maybe Ketchup will get Coyote versus Acme out of the vault." And I was like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I've said so many things in the past couple of years that...
Well, speaking of things I shouldn't say, I heard a rumor from your co-star Candy Milo, who plays Granny in the movie, and Witch Hazel, before I heard about the official news. And she told me about a Ketchup rumor, and I was like, I can't believe it. It's just like this to her. She's like, I heard they want your movie. And I was like, sorry, I don't want to get Candy in trouble. But her... Yeah.
No one put. We'll get Granny in trouble for sure. Everyone loves Granny.
Everyone loves Granny.
Well, listen, I truly appreciate what Ketchup Entertainment has done, and I will be forever grateful for them getting the movie and getting into the theaters. And one of the things that they've done so brilliantly is lean into the film Acme doesn't want you to see, and the marketing is fantastic, and it's a play on everything that's going on. So, for both of you? What was your reaction when you first saw that trailer and see the way that they're leaning into this?
I mean,
it's a little daring. I think it's a little, but it's part of the brand too. Acme and Looney Tunes, especially in the history of animation, the golden age of animation. We're talking about the 30s, 40s, 50s, they've always turned broken the fourth wall and turned the eye inward and made fun of themselves.
How many times have we seen Daffy being thrown off the Warner Brothers lot for doing something stupid, and it just kind of feels in theme with the whole movie itself, and like you said, life imitating art, and it's just it's got its own built-in marketing.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Warner Brothers has always turned a mirror back onto itself, and they're
very self-deprecating, and obviously we would have heard something by now. We're really in trouble, but thank goodness here we are.
One of the things that James Gunn was involved in coming up with this story, can you sort of talk about, because I think his name will get a lot of people interested. So can you talk a little bit about what was James' involvement in this, and was he involved at all once he saw like a cut? Like,
absolutely, yeah. I mean, showing him the director's cut of the movie was like one of the highlights of the entire process. Like he was so supportive and so encouraging, and he said so many nice things. It was really like one of the biggest highlights of the entire show. I'm pretty sure that James found the original New Yorker article that the movie was based on, and which is like this, I don't know if you've read it, but it's like this hilarious satirical piece about, you know, if Wile E were to sue ACME, would he have a good case? And it is 5 pages of very dry, wry legalese from Wile E's lawyer, Kevin Avery, talking about the numerous times that Wile E has been burnt to a crisp or pushed off a cliff or smashed by a boulder, and ACME products have backfired in his face. And that was really kind of the birthplace of the entire project, not just from a character point of view, but also from a tonal point of view.
Eric, you've done so many voices through your career, and I'm so curious, like, what's the toughest voice on your vocal cords in terms of like when you want to deliver something, or are they all like tough?
They're all oddly weird and tough in their own way. I think Bugs is tough because everyone knows that voice so well. They have every individual has such a clear memory of how that's supposed to sound, including myself as a kid who watched it on Saturday morning cartoons. Vocally strenuous. Marvin the Martian's weird because I feel like I have an Adam's pineapple after all the years of Martian speaking, because you have to use these weird vocal cord, like the muscles on I have calves on my neck because of that voice. And then there's Daffy, who I always leave to last if I'm recording scripts where there's like 3 or 4 characters, because
He's always at 11 for some odd reason. I'm just built that way. I don't know.
you know he's just like
screaming, yeah.
He has no ears. I don't know. He's likes to speak loud.
So when I was watching this, you cannot help but think about Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and I would imagine that's like the North Star when making a film like this. So can you sort of talk about that's impact on both of you? And also, did you ask like the cast and crew before filming began, just watch it again, just so you understand like what perfection is? We need to go after this.
Yeah. Well, I would say like it was absolutely a tonal North Star, because that was the first hybrid animated movie for me that really, I mean, it's a masterpiece, but it really showed that you could do darkness at the same time that you could do absolute stupidity. And it was also wearing this genre cloak. You know, it was a film noir. And I think the fact that the recipe of the movie, like intercutting absolute stupidity with this absolute darkness, both in theme and tone and in subject matter, is what makes it special. That was my experience with that for me. And yes, always a tonal North Star.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jumping without a parachute, kind of dangerous, ain't it, Doc?
Yeah, you could get killed. I mean, I have that cell in my living room. I have an animation cell of Bugs and Mickey. That's like the holy grail for me. I'm sure my son will miss the first year of college or university because I bought it from his college fund. But I have almost over 10 animation cells from that movie in my house somewhere. Oh my God, it's dipped. Like I have like the triple when Jessica goes from being Jessica Rabbit to like horrific, like that scary face that she makes.
I have to pause. How early on were you collecting cells?
Oh my God, I mean, early, even before I should have been. I should stop.
You gave
In
me
fact, I'm gonna leave.
You gave me a Coyote Roadrunner Clampett like.
Yeah, well, it was like an arrange. You know those
arrange,
in the movie The Mask. If you look at Stanley Ipkiss's apartment, there's a model sheet for like Marvin the Martian and Bugs Bunny, and they also had one in that vein for Coyote and Roadrunner, and I gifted it to him after what was supposed to be the funeral screening of our film. And I thought, I might never ever see Dave again. I might as well give it to him now. And here, I hope you're not expecting more cells because I don't know if I have any to give.
I'll just take some of the Roger.
Okay, the Roger Rabbit ones for sure.
One of the things about this film is one of the main stars is silent, and you do such a great job with it. And I don't want to say anything specifically, but what is it like when you're preparing for scenes, knowing that he is not going to speak, and everything has to be conveyed with his face or with occasional signs, and if you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean he's one of the best comedians of all time, even though he never speaks a word. So and he came from Chaplin and Buster Keaton and these silent film actors like that. Those were sources for Chuck Jones in inspiration. So, our process was really like storyboarding the movie with story artists who challenged me on what Wile E would think and want in every single scene. And they would say, well, I don't know if Wile E goes out this door. What if he goes out that other door? What if he stands up here and he has dynamite now? And then we just kind of, bat ideas around until we were all laughing. And then on set, we had this legendary puppeteer named Dave Barclay, who was a puppeteer on, he was one of Jabba the Hutt's puppeteers, and he was an incredible Henson legend, and he showed the actors what Wile E would be doing from take to take, and that was kind of how we had Wile E's presence on set.
It's going to be my last question because I'm out of time. Ultimately, this is a classic underdog story about a cartoon character fighting back against a massive corporation or conglomerate even. Why do you think that specific theme resonates so deeply with modern audiences today?
Wait, this isn't a movie. I thought this was a documentary, to be honest.
I thought this was happening outside our windows right now. I mean, it is what it is. The entertainment industry is always this pendulum that swings back and forth and will forever swing back and forth. How rough the ride is, it depends on, who's funding what, or if companies break down and build themselves back up. It'll always be that way. But I feel like, a story like this only comes around once in a generation, and I feel like this is the timing of it couldn't have been more perfect with what's happening out there and how it was treated and how it's now going to be seen by lots of people and seen where it should be, not on a shelf but on a big screen. It's pretty important. So
yeah, I mean, and it is a true underdog story. It's about this character who wakes up every single day expecting to eat Roadrunner stew, and that is his dream and that is his passion. And yet at the same time, every single day, this gigantic corporation is working hard to squash his dreams. And so it's really about the fight and the plight of the underdog. And this story is about how an underdog really never does lose his passion.
I have to stop. I'm just going to say I'm so thankful I got to see the film, and I will be recommending it to everyone.
Oh man,
and
thank you so much.
for your
Thank you. That's so kind.
Yeah, that's all, folks.